Hi there, welcome to another edition of the Wayrider Chronicles. My name is Kim. Hi there. This is a subscription story. Subscriptions, you say? Why do you want to talk about that? Well, anything to do with the internet these days is all what they call a subscription-based model. So if we go back through a bit of history, when Google rose to prominence, and at the time the search engines of Google and Yahoo and the other ones that were around at the time, which we've all forgotten about, they started to link to the newspapers that at the same time were starting to publish their entire editions online. So Google and the other search engines were linking to these websites, and do you remember Google News? Well, it still exists, but in the good old days you could read just about anything online, and everybody suddenly turned around, rather like when Napster first came out, and everybody says, why are we buying all this music? Let's download it for free. Same thing, let's read it for free. So essentially, there was a collapse in revenue of the newspaper publishing world. So the press, the world press, it wasn't sudden, but over a period of a number of years, found themselves with nobody subscribing to their print editions, or very few. The revenue started to drop off. This continued with various people putting up paywalls, various press organizations, not only worldwide, not only in the US, but in the UK and continental Europe. Everybody said, okay, well, we're going to have to make people pay for these. So they had to sign the internet account. But in most instances, in fact, in all instances, what these newspapers tried to do was to get people to pay the same amount for a physical through the door, through a letterbox, or as we all know, in certain countries they throw the newspaper boy throws a newspaper bundle to your door. They wanted them to pay the same amount, and everybody was like, no, we're not doing that. And as we know, in the internet or on the internet, everybody finds ways and means around paying for anything like that. So revenue continued to decline, and everybody started to weep and wail. I mean, the big press organizations of the world, the newspaper publishers, were weeping and wailing that, oh my God, we haven't got any revenue, newspapers, it's the death of newspapers. Until somebody eventually threw out what I call the bean counter, the accountant mentality, and said, wait a minute, and this was the New York Times. New York Times, a couple of years ago, decided, okay, we will put out offers where you will get, for essentially the price of an expensive Starbucks coffee per month, access to our online content. Guess what happened? It exploded. The New York Times, at this particular moment in time, online digital revenue is at an all-time high. It saved the New York Times. So slowly the other newspapers said, this is not a bad idea, let's do the same thing. The Wall Street Journal followed. Remarkably few followed. I don't quite understand why, but there are eminent UK publications like the Financial Times and the weekly magazine, The Economist, that still charge exorbitant prices to read online. That's fine. They seem to have a captive, affluent subscription base that allows them to do that. But your most general newspapers, because they are very focused on financial news, and as we all know, people who work in financial markets have got lots of dosh, so they don't mind shelling out whatever it costs for $300 or $400 a year for an Economist subscription. Your average person doesn't want to do that or won't do that. So we come back to the whole subscription model. The whole subscription model. Suddenly, before the New York Times started to do this, every publication, be that blog, application on the internet, went for this subscription model. And it was seen from a revenue point of view as being the model to get. Because once you locked in those subscribers, and they all do the same thing. Oh, it's going to cost you $40 a month for a monthly subscription, but if you take out a yearly subscription, which you pay up front, you get it for whatever discount they decide to do for it, 25, 30, or whatever. This subscription model, in my view, has reached the limit of its usefulness. Sure, it's very useful for a company to lock in X number of subscribers on a yearly basis, because suddenly you've got yearly revenue and you can plan and pay your wages and bread and butter is coming in. But let's take the current AI boom. Haha, you wouldn't escape from AI. You don't escape from AI at the moment, it's not possible. Current AI boom, I can go through any number of sites at the moment, image creation, sound creation, normal chat GPT equivalent of, and all of them require a subscription to access pro features. This is the big thing, but access their pro features. How many pro features do you want? And how many pro features can the average person afford? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, most of them will end up in the $40 to $50 a month level. Not going to happen. There, you may get one if somebody's not worried about their bank account earning enough money. They may do 2 or 3. But your average Joe Blog or Joe whatever they call them is not going to go for more than 1 or 2 of those subscriptions. Because they have to balance it out against all the other online subscriptions they like to have. The local for example, the New York Times and whatever else they've got, their internet subscription and this subscription and that subscription. I start to wonder. I'm starting to think that we've arrived at peak subscription, and a different model needs to be looked at. Especially since this explosion in interest in AI has resulted in a huge proliferation of different sites offering, just for example, image generation. Without even thinking about it, I can think of 10 of them. And yes, one of them is going to come out on top, and that's what's going to happen. But if we have image, 1 subscription, general GPT, video, text, and something that links all of them together. I've got 5 subscriptions. Okay, let's say we're, just to keep things simple, we're at $50 each. $3,000 a year in subscriptions. No way. No way people are going to play that. It's not going to happen. What is the solution? Subject for another video. See you guys.